Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Titancraft. We are back here inside of our redstone factory right next to the Guardian farm here. In fact, let's move away from the Guardian farm maybe to not hear burning fish. We are just going to go ahead and plop right down to the bottom here. Ow. And take a look at what I've got going on down here. Let me just be completely frank with you for a second. It has been a while since I've recorded anything. I have mostly just been material gathering here for a while now because I just moved across the country 3,000 miles from one state to another, from one coast to another, and it's been extremely time consuming, and I haven't been on very much, and I haven't done very much, and I have not been editing or uploading these videos hardly at all. I am way behind on everything, and we have got to get moving. I have some real big plans for the season, and I just want to get them all done. So this is a nice little shulker monster here, full of just a whole bunch of stuff, just lots of random stuff, all the stuff I'm going to need for a lot of the building I'm going to be doing here. Lots of bricks, lots of mangrove stuff, lots of wood, lots and lots of stuff. And we are going to be using all of this stuff today in this episode to keep on working on this build here out in the middle of the ocean, as well as we're going to be coming over here on top of where we built our lovely slime farms and skulk farm, which is still been collecting stuff, by the way, and come over here to this other giant shulker monster that I've built up. It's actually a bigger shulker monster because we're going to be building more from the ground up here. I think this is all the materials I'm going to need for this entire build that's going to go right here. It's going to take up about the same amount of area as this one does. It's just not going to be quite as tall and not quite as wide on the upper part. But you'll see when we get to it. They're going to be very similar, and they're very similar styles, very similar kinds of ideas here, which will become a lot more clear once we get started on what I'm going to build first in this episode, which is the base of this build right here. And then we're going to be starting the base of this structure out here next to it. All of the ideas that I've been building up to, all of the themes that I've been going for, all of the things that I've been trying to make happen this season so far out here on the ocean are going to come together and start making sense once I finish building these things this episode. We're going to take this big dive here, splash right into the ocean, and get started on finally finishing this big build that I've been working on for what seems like forever behind me. And oh my god, what was that? Oh, come on now. Seriously? Right now? That was very rude. Is that a good omen? A bad omen? I don't know. What is that? What does that mean for what's about to happen? What does that mean for this this build that's about to happen? I don't know. I don't care. Let's go. Let's get started. Let's take a quick moment here to look at what we've just done. We've finished the base here of this particular build out in the ocean. We're actually going to build another one in just a minute here over next to it, and you can kind of get an idea of what I'm going for here now, I'm hoping. I'll throw a picture here on the screen of the initial inspiration, a kind of initial inspiration for the builds out here. What I'm going for out here is oil rigs. More specifically, these old kind of abandoned oil rigs. The company here, Red Herring, has taken over these old abandoned oil rigs and repurposed them into factories and other things for their purposes, which we'll get into the more we build out here. This first one is their first oil rig that they repurposed, and they basically took everything off of the top of it. That's the lore, I guess, behind this whole thing. They took everything off the top of it and built up their factory. And we're gonna see this left side getting built up at some point soon too. And then this first rig will be complete. This is Red Herring 1. And I looked at a whole bunch of pictures of oil rigs online to get an idea of what they look like and the kinds of things that are attached to them on the outside. And I'm really happy with some of the cool things, some of the cool details on the side here. And we've kind of gone all the way around. My idea here was we can kind of see it on this side, which is mostly complete. You can see the buildings are kind of like oversized for the oil rig itself. Like this building is hanging off, these buildings are hanging off. They put this kind of like extension over here coming out of the ocean because they're just using the oil rig, the old oil rig, as a base. And they've kind of like tacked on their buildings here, and they got these like supports holding the building up and kind of blending their materials, like these brick kind of getting blended into the red metal of the oil rig itself. And I'm really happy with how this turned out. I really love the look back here. Both the front and the back have this Red Herring 1 symbolage on it. I noticed that a lot of oil rigs that I was seeing online had that kind of thing going on. If we take a look underwater here, we can kind of see that it kind of extends down underwater as well. And it comes all the way down to the bottom. And we're actually able to, if we want to, on all 4 of these corners, this is going to be a thing that I do on all the oil rigs that I do out here on the ocean, have a way to get from the water to the top without needing wings. I want to be able to walk around these things. That's the walkability I've talked about previously, is that all of these builds out in the ocean, all these oil rigs will be completely walkable and swimmable, so you can swim up to each one and you take like a ladder to get up. And eventually this door here will lead up to not all the farm in here, but it will actually be like a little room here leading up to areas above. And right now there's actually a stairway on each of these corners that leads up as well. We come around to this stairway over here, then we can come right into the factory. Then we're right in here, right into the redstone assembly room. We're going to take a little bit more of a detailed look at this when I finish this rig, when I finish that other side of the rig there, when I finish that factory. And we'll do that maybe next episode, and we'll do a full tour of this entire thing. But for right now, we're going to come over here and start building the second oil rig, at least the base for it. We're not going to finish the whole thing, obviously, but we're going to start the base for the second oil rig. And that's kind of another thing you can see over here. This is going to be a third oil rig. There's going to be a whole nother third oil rig around this gold farm over here. And each one is going to have its own little like theme, its own look to it, its own theme for like what it holds and what the lore behind it is and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this oil rig, the second one out here on the ocean. And just like that, we have another oil rig base out here to go along with this one. And that's 2 oil rigs total. I'm really excited for you to see what's going to be built on top of this one, the build that's going to be on top of this one. Unlike this one, which is a whole bunch of builds, this one's going to be a little bit different, where it's just one big build, but with a lot of details around it, a lot of interesting details around it, which I'm excited for. I'm really excited for you to see how this one turns out. While this one is like the factory rig, which I'm calling rig 1. This one, rig 2 here, you can see the designation here on the side, 2, and there's going to be a little RH maybe like right there as well. But this one, rig 2, is going to be the storage rig, which is going to have my storage system, which is going to be a crazy storage system. And believe it or not, these 2 bases here that we've done so far, in this episode are not the main builds for this episode. They're big builds, don't get me wrong, but what we're going to do next is a very big and complicated storage system that I'm very excited to start using, and that I wish I had been able to build sooner. I should have probably just built it out here on the ocean sooner, just floating out here, but it is what it is. It's taking a little while to get to, but it'll be really nice to have an automatic storage system, so no more manual sorting. And you can kind of see here, I kind of filled in this little underneath area with stone, just kind of made it flat and just kind of put some lighting down here, so it's just a little bit cleaner. And I also built these little like walkways, these little pathways to the farms that we built underneath here, the Skulk Farm and the Slime Farm. This one in particular is to the Skulk Farm. So we have a little just passageway here to our Skulk Farm, which I need to glow that sign up. This one over here goes down to the Slime Farm, and then I have this tube now coming up here to drop the drops from those two farms into here. And yeah, there's these kind of like walkways now in between these. All of these outside bits are now walkable and easily accessible, and they're also easily accessible from the water as well. There's going to be a whole ring of outside walkways. This is going to be kind of like one of the floors of this rig. This is like the bottom floor, basically, kind of going all the way around the outside here. There's going to be like little stairways to go up to the other floors here. So if we come down here, you can see how this one is accessible from the water. So it's just say you're like moving along in a boat here, just kind of coming across these oil rigs. You want to be able to get up to them without having to fly. You just come up here and take the ladder up here. Nice and walkable, just as I hoped it would be. And there's going to be doors here blocking these entryways, but you'll be able to get in and access any part of this rig as well from the water. So that is those two bases done. Now we're going to get started on the storage system. I'm probably not going to time-lapse this. It's probably going to take me a while to get right. It's very intricate, and I'll kind of walk you through it once it's done. But right here in the center here, there's going to be a big old storage system that is completely automatic and does really cool things and is really awesome and is really fun to watch work. So I'm excited to show you that. First, something you might have noticed, I'm not entirely sure, at some point during the building of all this, this was built here on the top of my base. I already know who it's been built by, but I have not gone inside yet. He asked me to not go inside until my birthday. My actual birthday is May 16th, which is today. So this cake has been on top of my base for a little bit now, so we are going to go inside and see what is left inside here for me. I see a present, but let's check out the lectern first. Happy birthday, Fictional. Hope you have a wonderful year. Thanks for being such a great friend, Lim. This is Limbrugger, who has been my friend since I joined the server. We joined the same season on the server in 2020, the COVID year. In season 6, we both joined on the first day of the server and met when we were building our shops in the shopping district and checking each other's shops out because we were like right next to each other. We've been friends ever since. And he left me a little bit of a present back here, which is, ooh, Titan shards and a fortune pick. Ooh, I love that. Fortune X. So this is a pick you can get from the above. It's very, very special. It has a limited durability of 50, so you can only use it 50 times before it breaks, and it gives you Fortune X on any ore that you use it on. And usually people like to use it on diamonds. That's what I'm probably going to use it on. Sometime soon I'll grab some diamond ore and show you me using this on that because it's really fun seeing how many diamonds you can get with Fortune X. And this is really awesome. Thank you so much, Lim, for the present for the cake. I'm just going to leave this cake up here for the time being because it's awesome. I think it suits it. I think it suits the roof nicely. I think it'll be a nice little thing to keep up there. I really, really appreciate that birthday gift. Very cool. I love the giant cake. We are now going to come back over here to our rig 2, our storage rig, and start working on the storage system. I'll bring you in when it feels like a good time to do so, kind of show you what's going on with it, because it, like I said, it is very, very cool and will be very helpful for us going forward. What we now have here before us is a crazy redstone machine. As you see the chests come into full view. I don't know how much I'll be able to explain about this because there's a lot going on, but it is done. It was a lot less difficult to build than I thought it would be, but it was complicated and took a lot of precision and took a lot of like just making sure that everything was being placed correctly. And yes, this entire thing is contributing to the storage system. And I guess that's like the one negative about it, is that it's very big and very, like, each chunk takes up a lot of space. And so let's start over here. All these kind of storage systems, these like multi-item sorters that you see online, like the categorizer or the recategorizer by Mazuma Games. This one in particular is by Lummie Thief. I made his version 1 storage system multi-item sorter in last season's storage room, the public storage room that I built. And this one, actually, I guess it was version 1.2 that I built. And this one is version 2, which is quite a bit different, actually, and works more smoothly and works in a really, really cool way. The reason I wanted to build this is because it's such a cool redstone machine. It has so many cool moving parts and so many things going on. It's really fun to look at and really fun to watch work, and just does a lot of really cool stuff. And it works on this server. It works on a paper server, which is what this is, which is really awesome. But anyway, like I was saying, all multi-item sorters have like a brain, like a place where you put items in, and the brain sorts out like what it's gonna, like how it's gonna send them off into the actual like slices of the system. And then you have the slices themselves, which in this case, for this particular storage system, each slice is a double chest wide. It's two blocks wide. And so I have here 45 slices because I wanted to sort 45 categories, and I kind of know what categories I'm going to do already. I mean, I kind of had to like commit to doing 45 here. I could have done a lot less if I wanted to. You can do, I guess, as much as you want. I mean, within reason. I mean, this is really big. I wouldn't consider going bigger than 45. I mean, this is freaking gigantic. I just really wanted a whole room, you know? I really wanted a whole storage room, and I really wanted a lot of categories, because I've noticed in my previous storage systems that I've done that having certain things, like having categories have to be combined, it's just not like what I prefer. I like really prefer to have things really separated into like their own categories, like having each tree type into its own category, like doing oak and then dark oak and then acacia and then birch. I want each wood type to have its own chest, and then that kind of goes for everything else as well. I want everything to have its own category. So coming over here to the brain, the basic idea of what's happening here is this chest over here, actually, come right here. This chest is the input chest, so you can put items in here, and you can also put shulkers of items in here. It will take shulkers, and it will take loose items as well. Any kind of item, doesn't matter what it is. And it will basically, I'm not going to go through every single section of this. I don't understand every section of this. If I'm being completely honest, I have done my best to try to understand it as much as I can to troubleshoot. What really helps is, I've built a lot of multi-item sorters. I've built Mazuma Games categorizer several times, at least 3 or 4 times. I've built Lummie Thief's design a few times. I've helped people troubleshoot Lummie Thief's first design, and then the second design I've never seen built by anyone before on a server or anything like this. This is the first time I've ever seen it built in an actual like practical manner and not just in a creative world. So we'll see what happens, but I do have some like experience troubleshooting multi-item sorters like this. Now this one it does seem like redstone spaghetti, but it actually is pretty compact from what I can tell. This andesite section right here is kind of like telling when to release minecarts, and you'll kind of see how that works when it runs, but it's constantly sending minecarts through and like on a timer. That's one thing to know about the system, is that it's very, very timer specific. And yeah, there's a lot of things going on with this, and there's a lot of water in it. There's a lot of water streams going on it, and a lot of minecarts. Like we have this basically a giant tower of minecarts here. Hopper minecarts going all the way down, because it uses a ton of hopper minecarts to send them out. Never actually too much at once. These it's not like all of these get sent out at once. I think it's just like for backup, just in case. Like if you put a ton of stuff into the system. In my creative world testing, I've never really gone over using like a double chest at a time, and they all get broken down at the end anyway. One hopper minecart is never out for like more than a minute or a couple of minutes or so. It's a very fast system. So the brain is inputting items, separating them into individual items, separating them into unstackable items, and then separating them into shulkers. And each of those 3 types of things go into 3 different places. And then the empty shulkers themselves, once the shulkers are empty, after they've been emptied by the system, they also get sent into the system as well. So this whole thing, that's what this whole thing is doing, is determining what kind of item you've inputted, where it needs to go, and in the timings of everything. There's a lot of timing involved with like what minecarts get sent out and when they get sent out. It's also sending information and input signals into the slices and taking information in from the slices. So like the slices also inform the brain. That's what this like line here is for. This whole like line here is triggered by these torches coming on right here, which are triggered by these comparators reading that there are minecarts in here. Anyway, there's also a signal kind of coming out from the brain that comes all the way around here, and it like goes all the way throughout the entire thing. So the brain is sending things to the slices are sending things back to the brain. They're all working together, and it's really, really cool and really fun to watch. So let's come down here to this is where the sorting actually happens. This is where you put your filters, basically. So you have a bunch of like named items in here. So you can't put one of these in your like input chest or it'll mess up everything. So this is the default setup. And if you want to sort something, you like take an item, you put it here. Now this chest is sorting golden carrots. So like if I input a bunch of golden carrots into the system, then they'll get sorted into this slice right here. So that is kind of how that works. You replace a stick with any item that you want to sort. When a minecart actually comes underneath here, it takes an item from the chest above it, and if it takes an item from this chest, here I can kind of show you from the side here. Let's see. Let's look at this rail right here. Look at that rail right there in front of the piston. Let me see if I can get it in view here. If I take this item out, it then pushes that there, and it pushes the minecart up, and so it tells it to sort into that slice right there. So that's kind of how that works. I basically have to go through and like set all of my filters here by putting one of each item in the game inside of each of the chests, like kind of sorting them out into categories. So I have to go find one of every single item in the game and put them into the right categories, which is going to be a fun time. It's something I've done so many times throughout my single player worlds and my time on Titancraft that I'm kind of used to it by now. And I think it's kind of fun actually to go around and like try and gather one of every item in the game and sort them out like that. I think it's really fun. But before we do that, let's go ahead. I have some test items here. Just take all of these, and we're just going to do a few of these slices here. I'm just going to do a few in a row to make it easy. Let me take one of each of these, and then we'll have kind of an even number to throw into the system. So we'll put mud here. We'll put the two ones that I have 40 of in the front, so we remember. There should be 40 of these in each of the chests above there when these get sorted. And yeah, I think I might put one of these on the other side. And actually, let's do those, and then we'll come over here. Let's put this one in this last sorter here, this last filter chest here on this kind of wall. And we'll come over here and put this over here on this last filter right there. So we'll take a look at how this works. Another thing I should note is that on the side over here, there's a little bit more going on than just the regular slices. Each side is 15 slices, 15, 15, and 15, but this has an additional 3 sets of chests to kind of like, the brain is taking a lot of space over there, so this takes a little bit more space over here. The basic way this is going to be is, I think this is correct, this will be empty shulkers, so all empty shulkers will come here. All non-stackable items will come here. That might be switched. I think that's correct, but that might be switched. This is items that have not been filtered at all. Like say I forget to like put an item that I want to sort into one of the filters, any one of the filters. Say I forget to, sort golden carrots for whatever reason. The golden carrots that I didn't put into any of the filters will end up here. And that will signal to me, oh, I don't have that in any of the filters. I don't have that item in any of the filters. Let me go put that item in one of the categories and filter that out so it doesn't happen again. If everything goes right, this slice should stay empty for the vast majority of the time. And you can kind of see from the back here how this kind of works. So this slice is this water column, which I think is shulkers. This slice here is the unstackables. This slice here, is the unsorted stuff. It's kind of the same as these, but it doesn't have a chest in front of it. It just it's the last line. So anything that didn't get sorted in any of the other ones will get sorted here instead. And then this is the last filter here, so it's the fourth one in. That'll be a lot easier to understand and see and visualize when we actually have signs on all these chests telling you what are in them. One thing I want to note is that I just kind of put a little border around here, kind of like with glass to see through. There's going to be a floor down there. That's going to be one of the floors. So you'll be able to see down, and it won't just be down into water. It'll be like an actual floor down there with some decoration of some sort. But you'll be able to see down here to see the lights. These lights kind of indicate that this slice is being filled. So if this light turns on, this slice will be being filled up at that moment, being sorted into. And I thought it would be kind of cool to see underneath, see how it works, like seeing minecarts going and seeing lights turn on and stuff as it's working. I thought it would be kind of cool to see that. So I put this whole border around here. The center will be probably stone, bricks, and stone, and like that kind of thing. And I'll probably put something in the center to be kind of decorative. This will be inside of a building, a big building with stuff on like other floors on top of it. And it'll have some cool features to it as well. Okay, without further ado, let's go ahead and dump these all into this chest and see what happens. We're just gonna put them all in here. And I'll just kind of show you. Let me turn hitboxes on so you can kind of see the minecarts better. But it is sending out minecarts in very specific timings, and you can see that they're getting filled up with items. So that one is the last one. It doesn't have anything in it, so we'll see that do its own thing. So that one didn't catch anything, so it got like pushed off to a different side. Like the system, the brain read that it didn't have anything, so it got sent off to the side, and that kind of told the system there's no more items left in there. So now minecarts are all going around. You can kind of see them all doing their thing, going through the slices, finding items that need to be found. Right now, things are being held in the back, in the bubble columns, with these like lightning rods that you can see here. And as minecarts come back from their journey, the system now knows it's safe to start unloading items into their slices. And you can kind of see that this brain will send a signal back throughout the whole thing. This cascading line of gravel will go down all of the slices and will let the slice know that it's okay to let go of that minecart and push it into the chest below. And the minecart itself will get pushed into a water stream and sent back to the brain, and then no more minecarts will be out and working anymore. So I can't explain everything. Hopefully, you can kind of get it, and I'll link the video below to Lummie Thief's video so you can see exactly what happened. But I will do another test where I can like show you in real time how long it took. So we'll come through here and check these. There's 40, 40, 50, 50, 50. Okay, and then let's come over here to this last slice. Very good. We'll come over here to 4 in, and there we go. So we've got all of our stuff back. I'm going to grab them all again, and we're going to run another test. So for this test, we're going to put all of our items in a shulker box. I'm also going to throw in my shovel, and I'm going to throw in 20 carrots as well. So the 20 carrots will end up in the unsorted chest because there's no filter for it. This will end up in the unstackable chest, and the shulker itself will end up in the shulker chest. If all things go according to plan, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let me throw this in, and I'll kind of course, phantoms are attacking me, and I'll throw that in, and you can kind of see stop it. We can kind of see how long this actually takes. So that minecart is sending this over to here. You can kind of see the shulker box just put in, and then all this stuff is happening. The shulker box is now unloading, and now a bunch of items are going to get sent through here, and the system now knows to start sending minecarts through, and now items are going to start coming through. So there's those. It's very nice. So they land on this thing, and then the next hopper minecart picks them up. And then what it's doing is it's coming here and waiting to be filled up with these minecarts. That's another thing to note, is that all of these minecarts are filled up with four more minecarts. And that's one of the reasons why, actually, I should have explained before, why there are so many minecarts up here, is because every single minecart that gets sent out also has 4 minecarts in it. It's all working now. Some minecarts are already coming back. Minecarts already went through the whole system and are already coming back around. And we might start seeing, some items come through. So these are all getting, these are all getting sorted now. And the ones over there will probably start getting sorted as well. That one right there got sorted. That one right there is getting sorted right now. And then the unstackable and the shulker probably already got sorted, actually, if I were to guess. And so now we're just waiting for all the minecarts to come back. This should probably be the last few here. They all get broken down right there once they all come back from their trip. And there's quite a lot out, and you can see like when one breaks, a whole bunch more come up. And of course it's about to restart. I'm really, really glad that this is done before the restart happens, because I have no idea what happens when the server restarts in the middle of this working, but it's done now. So we can kind of see that these are all here. That one's there. That's there. Golden carrots. And that's a mistake. All right, back. And yeah, that's kind of weird. I'm not entirely sure. More phantoms, of course. So I'm not entirely sure. So the shulker box is here. Unstackables are supposed to go here. I'm not entirely sure why a minecart is here. That's kind of strange. I think I've checked through every single container in this entire system. Everything that can hold an item. I think I've checked through. I'm not sure what happened to my shovel. Perhaps sending my netherite shovel through the through the untested system was not the best idea. Go figure, you know? Who knew? Who would have known, you know? Well, this is why we do tests, maybe not with our precious items, but this is why we do tests, you know? We'll see if maybe it'll pop up, you know? Maybe it's just like hidden somewhere. It'll just like randomly show up somewhere at some point. I went through everything that I could with it, and I didn't see anything amiss. So the only thing amiss was that my shovel is now gone. So who knows what's happening? Of course, it's raining now. You'll love to see it. And great. Okay, well, anyway, all the other stuff sorted just fine. You saw it in real time there for the most part. Kind of saw how fast it was. It actually works even faster with more items. The more shulkers of items you put in, the faster it kind of goes, which I think is really cool. And another thing to note about this whole thing is that all of like the hoppers behind this are all actually locked when the system is not on. You can kind of see there's like a tower of like torches here and like blocks here. This is locking all of the hoppers that are right behind these chests when the system is not in use. So that's really great to combat lag, especially on a server like this. All of the hoppers in this thing, at least the ones behind all these chests, and that's like where the vast majority of the hoppers are in the system. So I need to now come through and make all my filters. I'm going to go find one of every item in the game and make my filters, run the system for real with my my starter base storage back there, off to the right there. You know, that old storage system is going to get sorted into this one, and it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited to finally have a fully automated storage system, and whenever I get a bunch of new items, I can just dump them straight into the system. And ow, I'm just trying to have a conversation with the people. Stop it. Stop. Okay. Get out of here. Don't care about that. Yeah. So I'm going to do that, and we'll see how long that takes. I'm not sure, but in the next episode, maybe I'll get to show you some of the system working while it's actually sorting all of my items into the proper spots. Something that is happening on the server right now, something very cool, is a new event, a new little event being put on by the Titancraft staff and mods is B-loons is, well, let's go ahead and take a look inside the spawn building here at spawn, and I'll show you what's happening. This top floor of this portal building is changed out all the time for different events, and this event here is through this portal here, but it is basically, maybe you can tell from the cake and the balloons and the B-loons in the nether hub, is a birthday, another birthday, not just my birthday from earlier in the episode, but a birthday here on Titancraft, and that is the Titancraft. Wow. Okay. Oh my gosh, that's really awesome. I love that. So this is the Titancraft 8th birthday district. So this is its 8th year in operation, and we are currently on season 9, as you know. So we are celebrating by having people come out here and build like cake themed designs, I think cake themed and anniversary themed things. And I see one built here already. This was just opened. This district was just opened like a couple days ago, and we're starting to see people start to build stuff here. I'm not sure if I'll have time to build anything out here because I've got a lot of stuff that I need to do in this upcoming few weeks and months. So I'm not sure, but I'm definitely going to keep checking out this area and seeing what people do and what people build for Titancraft's 8th birthday. And yeah, I think that's probably a good place to end this episode, seeing as the server's about to restart. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you next time with more Titancraft. Bye, everyone.